If you're not religious, but you still believe, what exactly do you believe in? Welcome to a bonus day of reflection as I wrap up this week's 5 days of reflection series where I have explored all the categories of my own personal lifestyle blueprint. Today's theme is faith. This is probably the category that I put the least amount of effort into or action behind or intentionally think about. For a little bit of context, I was raised Catholic, which as a child, it was great having rules and traditions and rites of passage and structure to how to become a good person. So found Catholicism very helpful as a child. But as I grew older and I experienced more gray areas of life, I found myself at odds with Catholicism more and more. And then as an adult, reasonably into adulthood, I realized I'm not necessarily Christian either, but I was able to, and still able to, respect and honor most all religions. I can honor and respect the beliefs and the traditions and, understand what Christians and Catholics believe in. I think faith is very important. And I have to ask myself, who am I to judge what somebody else's faith looks like and what kind of form that takes? I have this memory of myself as a child. I was probably 11 or 12 years old. And I realized that I had a pretty solid belief system of what my faith looked like and how I thought things were between humans and God. I basically believed that every human has a soul. And when I heard people talk about heaven, I believed that heaven was the highest, best, most perfect version of everyone's soul. And here's the part that I kept secret, didn't share with anybody that I believed this because it was counter to everything that I was being taught at that time. I believed that soul was one being, one energy source. I don't know if I had all the words to put behind it, but I believed that it was one source so that we were all connected. And I believed that one source is God. And as I grew older, I kind of kept those beliefs very secret and buried as a, teenager, even young adult. But then as I started to think about it more and I started to expose myself to more religions and more beliefs and ways of life, I came to learn that there were a lot out there that had some similarities to the things that I believed. And it wasn't as out there as I had originally thought. But I never found a church where I felt that I completely fit in, even though I have longed for and continue to long for that sense of community. The closest that I've come to has been the Unitarian Universalist, and I attend that once in a great while, but not on a regular basis. There just hasn't been the right fit, and I'm not sure if I can articulate it beyond that. Now, one thing as I was reflecting on this topic today, when I was religious, when I was Catholic, when I was practicing Catholic, I put effort and action and intention into it. There were classes I attended, went to church every Sunday, said certain prayers, recited certain prayers, all the things. Now, as an adult, I'm not religious, but deeply, deeply spiritual, and I feel connected to God, higher power, higher self, whatever you want to call it. For some reason, I don't put intentional action into that or effort into that, and that's something that I want to explore. My effort looks like journaling, occasional journaling. I'm still not a consistent journaler like I'd like to be, but a lot of times my journaling takes the form of prayer, like I'm asking questions and I'm sharing things as if I'm sharing it with a higher power. It also looks like meditation, going really quiet. So when I meditate and I get really, really quiet and try to hear the messages that I'm meant to receive, at the moment, that's pretty much the extent of my intentional action to nurturing my relationship with my faith. I was talking with a friend the other day. We were talking about all kinds of things. And one of the things we talked about is that, like, we wished that people didn't weaponize religion so much. And why think that your way is the only way? Like, how can you believe that you know enough to know that your way is the only way and condemn those that don't agree with you? Just wrapping my head around that is really difficult. I wish that more people recognized the commonalities, the common thread amongst religion, what ties us together. We have more in common, and there's core bits to every religion that are so similar. Why can't we honor that and celebrate that and respect that? If faith is something that we have for comfort, for inspiration, to help us live a better life, can't we just be happy that someone has faith and leave it at that? So I guess all in all, if I was to rank faith as a category in my life right now on a scale of 1 to 5, it's about a 3.5. So definitely some room for improvement and some things to really think about. Now, back to you. How does faith show up in your life? And do you put any intentional action or effort into it?